Let I know when you're ready on your end, Jeebus.
I'm going live.
Okay, so... wow. Good evening, everyone, for... this is probably why I was sighing a lot. The 69th session of Into the Wildlands. I am your DM for the evening, Miser Mark. Oh, man. It's definitely one of them days now. Or sessions now. Anyway, getting back to a quick recap. The Fading Hearts accomplished quite a bit upon the mishaps that they were going with. For one, despite her abduction, Mavis was able to, at least in the brief moment in the span of the, one could say, astral plane, travel through the teleportation spell that Ed Matthias Dominguez had used through her adopted mother, Akra, now turned into a armor horror, if one would call it that, was able to pierce through what's left of Akra's sanity, or will, to have the individual fall off the bridge, but before that literally gave Mavis her sword, perhaps a final sign of affection or another meaning, who knows, as Akra disappeared in a blinding flash of red light, and the vehicles outside just wanting to play their horns. But Mavis also escaped, at least in a very inconvenient manner, as she stepped through the reverse ending of the bridge and found herself in a manor filled with vampires. But they all follow the orders of their leader, who seemed to be acting like a bit of a doting mother figure, though she did ask for a very hefty price to have her teleported to the village. Speaking of the village, though Mavis' teleportation back to the group was successful, the group, Arizel and Oberina, had particular vision quests or visions from Yabala, which for Arizel, she saw horrible images of the Red Fox, Orcus, and a fake Aderia with the possible emergence of the Golden King. And things went pear-shaped in that particular vision. As for it to come true or not, it is to be determined later on, or a possibility. Maybe it already happened in another instance, who knows. But the rest of the crew, after much conversation and particular bullying from Tyrannin and Syndra, Zarmal decided to complete the ritual to inherit the mantle of champion from Yabala, which was done during the process of night and was extremely painful for the individual, but it turned out perhaps for the better, as he emerged in a different form, much larger, definitely stronger, and needing to acclimate to the new wisdom that he has gained from his departed mother. However, we're going to go back a little bit in time, since, well, Oberina went missing upon the revelation of all this stuff that's happened. So let's go back as to what exactly happened to her.
What the hell is that damn elf?
So we go back just a little bit in time with, well, Arizel, you are currently having you are currently in the midst of having your vision with what's happening. So, Oberina, as you are hearing Diablo give it the explanation of the rituals, which is to not only help suppress whatever dark chains are going to be affecting you for at best maybe 2 weeks, but not a full guarantee, is also to give you some insight of what can you do or what to be wary of.
Okay.
And let me just switch this to a different soundtrack, because we're no longer doing any flute music at this point. That was the intro.
Oh, we
But-
can't do the spirit quest with that music going? Can I?
Well, we could. We'll see. So, right now, Oberina, from your perspective, actually, let's change it to the more of the fire one. Where is it? Someone give me that flame music of crackling fire. Thank you.
Like the forge? Did you want actual fire?
No, there was something with the indoors
Like I went the
crackling
wrong way.
fire one.
Probably the wrong thing. Give me a minute. There we go. I got it.
There we go. Alright, so right now, from your perspective, Oberina, Arizel's eyes have fully clouded into a, well, pure white vistage and looking forward, but no movement or anything. And Yabla looks even more older, or if not wrinkly, as a scaly creature would be. And she looks over to you now. Well, it seems that Arizel is deep in her visions. It'll be your turn, though I think, considering what's binding you, it might be a bit different experience.
Which part are you referring to?
The influence of not just your own past, but how your past is connected to the now, with a certain end.
Well, there is no need to delay this any further, so let's begin.
So instead of what she had done for Arizel, which was prepared a drink for her, Yabala goes to the pot and starts producing more particular items. One of which, Oberina, you can roll me a nature or survival.
Oh boy, I'm good at both of these. Let me tell you. Now look, hold on my spells. Nature. Well, I'm a little bit better in nature, so let's go with that. Maybe.
How nice,
Holy
you guys
shit.
roll so well.
This is what happens when I leave for a few weeks.
Yes, your luck reset or got better. Anyway, so what happens, as you see, she produces a few notable black flowers that they glow an ominous spectral color. But along with them, you do see a white-looking herb as she drops two of the black ones and one of the white herb into the teapot, and she slowly begins cooking it. This will take a moment, but if all is successful, not only would you see a possible future, or I suppose a destination that is important to you, you might find some answers, and, well, that's usually the side benefits. The main one would be that the effects of those that are controlling you will be fully suppressed for an amount of time. At the very least, this one, Arizel, as she points to her, will not be followed, or at least tracked, by the two that are holding her chains. As for you, it's more toward the false primal Yengul and the much more larger problem at hand. As she finishes boiling it up, do you say anything?
No, she's just kind of watching at this point because in some ways she feels a lot of this is out of her depth, so she's just trying to like think while Diablo's talking.
Sadly, I do not think I will be around to answer any questions afterwards, as I sense my son is approaching.
Well, it was at least a good time to talk to you this time, I'm going to assume, rather than last.
Well, considering you or the others had not killed me at some point or another in this instance, I am grateful that all of you have perhaps changed the events to come.
Well,
And she offers you a small cup, the liquid, which, although you saw the varied colored, the very two opposing colored tones of plants put in there, it is surprisingly clear.
no, if you just wanted to give me vodka, I could have just made that, she says kind of with a smirk.
I'm just gonna roll this for her, out of a joke. Despite her absurd modifier, I'm gonna go with that 9, and she's going to tilt her head to the side bit. I am no expert in alcohol, but I suspect this vodka is that element.
Well, it's usually made from potatoes, especially up north where it's a lot easier to condense from Icewind More of a specialty.
I wouldn't know. I'm not fond of the cold. She just
Most people aren't.
passes it to you.
She'll take us. Is
Yeah.
it like just? Oh, sorry. Is
It's
it like
warm.
a just for the sake of flavor? Is it like a huge cup or is it like a decent size?
It is a small cup. It's one of those. The best way I can say it is a.
So like either a sake or shot glass kind of style.
Yes, there you go. The shot glass. It was on the tip of my tongue and my brain could not remember it. And it is only lukewarm. It is not hot or cold.
I'll just down it in one gulp if I can, since it's so small.
Perfect. D100 now.
Ah, yes! I missed you, D100. Time to fuck myself over.
We're about to find out just how badly.
Well.
78. Alright, and with that, I need you to do me a Constitution saving throw.
Well, knew it was fucking vodka. Shit gets you every time. Oh, I saw the 18 and I got so happy.
Yeah, so was I. Alright, so I'm just going to delete these here because it's going to be changing the scene. We'll be going back to that later in the future. But you rolled a 78, so now I'm going to roll this. Okay.
I want to
Oh wait, hold on. I just skipped past the player tag. Where are you? There you are. Do. Okay. So, just give a little pretense or flavor context. Your vision begins to darken, and you begin to hear the sound of a baby crying out in the distance. What do you do?
You said it's just dark, like I don't see anything?
Yeah, you don't see anything, but you do hear the cries of a baby in the distance.
Do I have like a general sense of where the sound's coming from?
You can roll me a perception.
I think I'm okay at this. Thank God I'm okay at this.
At first, it sounds like it's all around you, but attuning or focusing your mind a bit, you realize it's actually straight up ahead.
Then I guess
And
I'll just walk forward.
yeah, and as you get up to go forward, you realize that Arizel and Yabala are not there. In fact, not even the fire that was lit is on anymore. It's just ashes. So, as you begin going forward, eventually find yourself...
What in the Alice Wonderland? Fuck.
You find yourself right here.
Okay. Right, close enough.
I'll just move this over here a little bit. And you do see someone that's very familiar, or very, of course you have to recognize who this individual is.
Okay. Here's a question. Alright, so do I know who this individual is? Or no?
You can roll me an intelligence check of your choice. Either religion, arcana, or nature.
My dad won't talk about this?
Yes. So I'll give you advantage.
Okay, so I can't... Okay, I was more so, like, getting, like, history to see if I
Or history, yes,
remember
that
anything
too.
my dad would have told me.
Yes. I'll
Yep.
allow history as well.
Okay, that's a 20.
I'm sure you know who this is, because your father has spoken about her many times and her mercy.
Can I take a
That-
guess before you say it? 'Cause I
Please.
think I know. Actually. Is that Tituba?
Tituba, of all really?
I would
No.
guess the Fey Queen, so my brain was kind of all
Yeah, Titania.
on that, but yeah.
Yeah, that is Titania, the summer court queen.
Yeah.
And you don't have to roll perception for this, but you do see your father standing, which you can only guess is on trial, and in his arms he's cradling a baby.
Can I hear anything outside of the baby crying?
There seems to be a discussion, but it's very muffled at the moment. You can roll me another perception for this. Well, actually, you can now roll me the perception to hear what they're saying.
Oh, that's not an advantage. Well, it doesn't matter.
Is it 12? Alright, let's grab this for the music. So the 12... I would say, since you are used to reading motions, you can feel a very hot fury emanating from the queen herself, the very terrifyingly large lady. And you also get the feeling that all these individuals around, they are tense with their weapons at hand. Some of them with a bow, longbow ready, drawn and notched, but they're not aimed at your father's direction at the moment.
Okay.
Unfortunately, because you didn't roll high enough on the perception, you cannot pick up what they're saying. Though there is some furious pointing, and I will give you that with the 12, that Titania is pointing at you.
Myself or
Your baby self that's in his arms.
Okay.
That's in your father's arms right now.
I just want to make sure. I guess I'll just kind of watch, at least for the time being, even though I can't hear, just to kind of get a clear picture of what's going on.
So there is a conversation that's going on. It is going back and forth between your father and Titania. Your father seems oddly relaxed, though it might also be he's, again, very affluent, maybe apathetic toward what's going on, but he does seem to be focusing more on your well-being than the clear scolding that he is getting from the Queen of the Summer Court. And at this point, what do you do? As it seems like it's going on for a little bit.
I guess I'll try to get a little bit closer. Just to kind of get more of a clearer picture. There's like no one else in this place, right? It's just the guards, the queen, and my father and myself as a baby standing trial.
Yes, apparently as far as you can see right now. You can roll me an investigation to attempt to read their lips.
Ah, I'm great at that. 17, actually.
Okay. I'm just gonna roll this, see how much you get. Quite a bit.
Everything.
No, not really. You didn't get 100. But,
Oh.
you do catch some particular notable words, especially from Titania, as she does again point in your, well, the baby you's direction, and you do pick up the words of abomination, an insult, needs to be killed, and also the other one of roll. Now I need you to roll me a d20. But actually, no, not a d20. Roll me another investigation for this one.
Oh no. That's a 12.
12. Okay. All right. So you only get. You only get a broken sentence of this one here, but you do pick up leave and mother.
Like leave as in like get out, or leave as in like the plan?
You do not know. Your investigation wasn't high enough. But it did came right before the word mother.
You know, I think after I was told I was the maestro to get to this bullshit, I think she'd put something wrong in the drink.
Speaking of which, roll me a Constitution saving throw.
What? Where's Constitution. Oh, I saw the 1 and got scared.
So was I, because you feel for a brief moment an intense cold, but then you remember your time in Icewind Dale, and this is just as about pleasant, all things considering the cold draft that's coming from the south, or at least behind your father's direction. As a very large female entity with a retinue of her own soldiers and knights start marching in.
Ew. The hell?
You can roll me another history if you want.
Alright, give me 1 minute.
Actually, what I should also do, because I am rolling these
Should it
particular
be an advantage or no?
It'll be at advantage.
Fuck, I'm rolling like ass.
And I'm just gonna do this show to players. So people
Oh
know.
yes, the true queen of the Fae.
Yep.
I hate that I knew her actual name, but my brain
Yeah.
didn't want to process it because
You said a whole different name. I'm like, I'm just gonna go with the one that I know.
no, it is the one you know.
But you get the feeling, you didn't know the individual herself, but with the cold air that you feel and the way the area is starting to shift a little bit, you have suspicion that that's the Winter Court.
Yes, I'm glad my father was. Let me do it. I'm glad that Dada was in the debacle between both courts. This sounds like fucking a great time.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna show this because I'm sure you already know now that I said Winter Court.
Yeah. Miser knows my jam, so it's like hiding the name is kind of irrelevant to me.
Yeah. Anyway, there seems to be a bit of a conversation, and there is a tension in the air, which even you, for your Dampier nature, can tell that there's open hostilities at the moment.
Is there... My father, just out of all this, looks calm, cool, and collected, correct?
You can roll me perception, insight, or investigation. And since you know your father well enough, I'll give you advantage on it.
Go with perception. Oh. Let me roll it. Oh, I think that one's better.
Well, there is that somewhat neutral facial expression he has, but you can briefly see his eyes are darting between the two queens, and the fact that he's right in the middle between them, but by...
Does it look like he's trying to make a break for it?
You know, you rolled that 27 perception, so I'm going to give it to you. He looks like he's kind of a little bit hunched over, as in to cover you, and the feet are pointing to the left.
Gonna do something. Let me see what I got. Left as in like this way towards through
Yes.
the bushes. Man, I wish I had spell slots left.
Unfortunately, you don't. But
I want to try
continue.
this, Miser. So I don't want to do damage, but I want to use this to kind of try to break it and whisper in his ear. Go while you have time. There isn't much left before the collapse.
Roll me a D100.
22.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many of those are going to hear that?
I think it's only to one person. Yeah. Well, I guess it's a melody.
It's...
Oh, yeah, no, it says... Oh, well. I guess you can kind of roll it because only one person can technically hear it, but...
I will explain why as I say that. Okay. So she didn't hear, but these two did. Okay. So, for a brief moment, and I'm going to give this to you because your father would have told you that magic works differently in the Feywilds.
God damn it.
But
Wild magic!
But not wild magic though, because this happens to be a vision or a memory that might have been locked up from you. But your voice echoes a bit more, and both your father and actually your baby self that's in his arms notice it, because the child stops crying and is looking right at you while your father is looking around confused, but it's clear he has heard you. Now, because you did that, I need a con save.
Yay! God damn it! Oh.
As you say that, you feel a strange darkness come out of you, and it goes to your baby self. Now that that's been removed, you do hear the voice behind you that sounds as cold and harsh as Icewind Dale that you grew up in. It just says a few particular sentences that catch your notice. Considering that you do not want them in your court anymore, I will put them under my protection. And see if they're of any value for us. Is that acceptable? And unfortunately, since you didn't roll well with Titania at the start of it, you just see her mouthing a few words, or rather sentences, but you cannot hear them. And you can roll me one more perception. As your father turns with the baby you and begins walking toward Queen Maeve.
Is the baby me still... never mind. Still looking at me?
With the 13, yes. It is looking right at you.
She looks at her and says, "Don't worry. You're at least in good hands for the time being." She says, kind of with a smile on her face.
And you watch as your father, with the baby you in his arms, literally goes on a knee and bows as fearfully and respectfully toward the Queen of the Winter Court, and she begins making her way out, followed by the knights, who they wait until she is just far enough where they sortie around your father and beckon him to stand in the center to make sure he doesn't go away. and they begin trailing out. Through this whole thing, your child self, or the baby you, is still looking in your direction, almost trying to reach out.
I guess before they go away, unless like they start fading away, I'll probably follow behind them.
Okay. If you're gonna follow them, I need a charisma saving throw now. And you're good at that, aren't you?
I pray. Holy fuck, I am!
Alright. So we're gonna continue down this rabbit hole then. We're really gonna continue down this rabbit hole. Alright, so you start following them. And as you suspected, they begin fading away. But also the scenery and the world around you begins to fade away as well. As you find yourself in another location.
Fuck me. Where am I? Right where you pinged?
You are right here in the center.
Center of the flower crown?
No,
Okay,
right
okay,
there.
Okay.
And you see your dad once again with you, or the baby you, in his arms. But south of you, you see a woman who is surrounded by these rings of flowers. Looking terribly pissed as there is blood coming out of her eyes, ears, and mouth, and she is, well, despite the image of the flower, she's actually been impaled by a lot of thorns.
No, I think if Mom would have tried to jump into the Feywild, that she gets fucking punctured like this, I'm not surprised.
Yes.
How do you do, Marlene?
Well,
Or
as
is
you
it
do.
Marlene?
Yeah.
You did give me the name. I think it's just Marlene.
I gave you a name, but that's not the
I
person.
know,
though.
I'm just...
You say the name,
okay.
but there's no response of it. Though there is this look of absolute fury as you can see her trying very hard to move forward, but she keeps getting pushed back. And very calmly and in a hurry, your father steps back and then does a full bolt run away.
What did the thorns look like? How's the kind of flower ring arranged?
Explain. Or what are you looking for?
I'm trying to see if it's is the magical intent of this thing meant to just trap or prevent someone from getting in, or...
With that, you're gonna have to roll Arcana for me.
Yay. Yay.
From the looks of it, it's to restrain. That's it. Because she's struggling, but she just can't move. That's all I'm giving you.
Let me look what I have. Looking what I have. What do I have that can help? Man, if only I had more fire spells. Actually, could I cast this on the flower spell? Or the flower rings?
I'll give it to you. So when you cast this, you sense... Alright, so it's not detect magic. You actually get identify. You touch the thorns, and you realize that this is a boundary ward that prevents things that are not of the Fey blood to enter. And things that attempt to enter here that are not of the Fey blood are not only repelled, but also damaged.
I'd like to try to then put my hand through it, see if it repulses me or not.
It does not.
Then I guess she'll walk towards the center.
As you do so, you realize you are going right through them. They're not affecting you in any way.
He's going to sit there, or he's going to walk up and just give her mom a hug and say, "Good to see you again." And going to cast this with my last third level slot. I'll roll.
Alright, roll me the D100 again.
Mariner's just fucking this up, but it's funny. Oh no. Oh no.
Okay. I'm just gonna go to her sheet
You
now.
want me to, hold on, let me roll the heal if it works.
Yes,
roll.
roll the heal effect of it too. I'm just laughing a little bit.
Wolverine. That's just what you do.
I'm not complaining.
What?
I put things there. How you guys react to it is gonna be up to you. I'm not gonna make a judge out of it.
Wow, I got max on the second one. Alright, so that's 28.
Okay. I'm just getting her sheet. And she does have advantage on her perception on this one. How to make someone really break. Right, that was... Okay, so she only has that much of a bonus.
Damn. I can't believe I got my perceptive eyes from my mother.
Yes, she actually... All that fury and anger that she clearly was projecting at your father pauses and actually looks right at you. Though, when she moves her hands to touch you, it goes right through. She looks a little bit on the panic side, I'll give you that.
Hard to explain, just... If it makes you feel any better, what I'm gonna use, where is it? Because this would actually be great for this. So, I guess because it's gonna be a little bit bending of this, but I want to try to, like, somewhat communicate with her. Because they technically can understand me, even outside of... This is going to be weird on the wonky time physics of this.
Okay. Alright, I'll allow it. What are you going to do? Or say?
You don't have to hurt yourself to see me. I will eventually come to visit you. Just, I need to know where you are. And she kind of... Like where her hand was, she'll try to lower it there, but I guess she'll just go through again.
Roll me no. I'll give you a choice of insight or perception at advantage.
Oh my god.
So, you do not hear her words very well. It's almost like someone's put a muffler sound effect, so it sounds like she is underwater. But you do hear it, and there is that small smoldering fury, but it's not directed at you. But you do hear, "My precious baby, I'll find you, and I'm going to turn your father inside out for the betrayal. And then I'll put him back together.
A betrayal of what?
As you ask that, everything begins to fade into darkness again.
Oh no.
And...
Oh boy, Stonehenge.
yes, you find yourself right in the center, laying flat on your back, as if you were taking a nice rest. In fact, roll me one more Constitution saving throw.
Oh, that's not an advantage. God, I wish it was. You know what? Fuck it. Do we have any inspiration? No.
Not at this moment,
Damn it.
but you do got the benefits of a short rest. But somehow finding finding yourself in a here. Well, it's not a very comfortable altar to sleep on.
I don't recognize this place at all, do I?
No, you don't.
Is there... I guess can I roll just a general perception to kind of see like what the makeup of this place kind of is? If it's just all wooded or anything would stick out? I guess that'd be more investigation than perception.
I'll give you either one.
One in Rome. We're in Rome.
The trees definitely look familiar, as in this is definitely still in the jungles that, well, the Sharptooth tribe would be in. However, as you look a bit more further down, and this has giving you the 22 perception, there is some cultivation or some of the beaten down road. And also with that perception, let me just roll a d4. Ah, you found, okay, that one's the one that found you. You do hear a rustling or something moving very quickly in your direction from the trees.
I'll just kind of like have my bow up, but for the time being just kind of hold it ready, but not anything knocked or anything, just in case.
Okay, you do hear it from this direction.
Is it more like loud? I guess, is it like, does it sound a lot heavier or a lot like softer?
In between. There's definitely the sound of something rushing your direction.
Then I'll kind of just wait and see what happens.
Alright, so it doesn't take no more than another round of 6 seconds, but you see a somewhat familiar figure leap out of the tree and land on the stone surface, and is about ready to leap again until he looks down and notices you.
Oh, I'm quite sorry. I'm a little bit lost. I do apologize if I'm interrupting anything. I was taking a nap.
So here's a question. What will bring those languages again?
Oh god, I got a bit. Common, Elvish, Draconic, Undercommon, Celestial, Dwarvish, Gnomus.
Just ping him for me
Yeah,
next time. That'll just help me.
I probably should have put them all together and I didn't because I'm stupid.
That's fine. But is Primordial any of them, though?
No.
Okay, so unfortunately, he just... Well, it is you could definitely identify it as a male. I gotta read that again. Universal language, if game, ability maker speech. Okay, so...
I'll do that. If he looks confused, then I'll try that and say the same thing again. God bless.
Yeah, unfortunately, you won't be able to understand what he's saying.
That's fine.
You know what? Roll me a straight intelligence to get an idea of what he's saying.
You think too highly of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All you see is that he understands what you just said to him. He looks somewhat puzzled, points to you, then he points to the northwest direction.
Did I come from that way? Just nod once if you're asking that, or are you asking, am I from that way?
He nods.
In all honesty, I don't know where here is. Do you know if there are others of my kind down? She points down towards this path. This way, or?
He again points in that same direction.
Can you... that's probably horrible. Are there bad people that way?
There's a slight pause and a scratch on his muzzle or face a bit. And he goes, first he shakes a head yes, but then he does it again as a no.
Well, I do appreciate at least giving me some sense of direction. I will be on my way then through the jungle. Have a nice day. I don't know your name off the top of my head, but I will. Perhaps we will see each other again at some point. Maybe not.
You had actually seen him before.
I know. She's being facetious.
Yeah, he just looks very confused about it. Just kind of shakes his head in dismay and then lands down and he starts running fast.
She's trying not to create more paradoxes by saying his name and confusing the fuck out of him.
Yeah, well, as soon as you start moving, he just kind of snorts and then just looks around and then starts running in the other direction or continuing his direction. Alright.
Like I said, I'll just go the way he told me, so that way.
Yes. Which I will need 2 more rolls from you and then we're going to go to the others. Which is
what up?
I need a survival. Just a flat survival.
Oh, this is gonna be great.
Uh-huh.
I'm glad yeah, I'm dead.
Okay, roll me a d8 now.
Die in these fucking woods. 4.
Okay, it's going to take you a bit, but you start recognizing some of the tree foliages and the like. And then you realize that you were going in the wrong direction because while the other ape, the Bonebreaker, told you to go northwest, you were slowly going northeast. But you start noticing some tracks, or rather very familiar shark-toothed raptor mount tracks here and there, and really big monkey paws. You'll start slowly following that way, which will take you about 4 hours to reach the Sharktooth village.
Okay.
And now, man, I really wish my macros were working again. I don't know why it's been acting funny as of late. But we go back to our other group, which... everyone is having their morning, eating, getting breakfast, reacquainted, information. The fact that Oberina is missing, and Zarvel has mentioned that when he went to perform the inheritance ritual, he did not see Oberina.
I apparently do not have control over Smiley. It was just out in the middle of everything for no reason.
Really? I sworn he
Smiley has been freed from your torment.
Keeping Smiley's some tats on his head.
Oh, that's so strange. I'm gonna have to look at that later. But there you go. Try again.
Oh, there we go.
But yeah, you do see that Zarmbal is not only much more different looking, but his size had definitely increased. And a lot of the other Sharktooth tribe member are very confused at first. In fact, Tyrion can easily tell why they're all sniffing the air in the direction of Zarambal. And anyone else that's familiar to how most creatures in the wild identify each other, or at least through the scent and all. Yeah, it's pretty much what they're all doing. What is everyone else
Andrew, do
doing?
you have anything that can locate her?
Zarambal looks over to his sister. Oh. Continue.
Generally, I do. But after hearing Ari's dream, I was going to. I suppose I could waste it. But I feel like with everybody gathering up this.
Are you there? Nope.
I'm still here. I was just waiting for you guys to finish. That's all.
Yeah, no, Google just, like, stopped.
Yeah.
So.
She broke up, like the mic stopped.
Oh. She said,
Hey.
I just don't think it's quite right with, everybody gathering up here. So just go doing that right now.
Zarambal kind of somewhat reading the situation of the area. I will send some of my tribesmen to go find your missing friend. I don't know what had happened, but as I had said before, when I entered the hut, I did not see your friend Oberina other than Arizel being the only one that had left. When I inquired, Mother did not quite say anything much except that she had a vision of sorts.
Oh, bloody hell. I thought we had more time. I needed to ask her how to make the flower into a potion.
I have acquired that knowledge. It just will take me some time to acclimate to it.
Oh, good. Okay. I was a bit worried.
It's quite a bit. But it should be... I should be... I suppose you can say battle ready within 2 days once I've both acclimated to the size increase as well as the power behind it, and sort my own knowledge with the knowledge I inherited. And he starts talking in a more reptilian language, which those that know Draconic will immediately understand that he is giving his tribesmen orders using a specific coding to it that they immediately identify him as Zarmbal, as some were still very suspicious. Some looked a bit saddened upon hearing the death of their elder, the shaman, but he makes a quick gesture for presenting Shaktima, who now holds Yabala's staff, as she is the new shaman. And he returns, and again, his comment is not that great, but he does get through it a little bit better. The Sharptooth and those of the Bonebreakers available will go look for your friend. I suspect you will have much to speak about, and preparations within the few days for the tournament, or at least the bloodbath that's about to happen.
As we can assume, our enemies are corrupting as much as we are.
Very much so. As he turns and begins making his way around, following after him is his sister, who, before she follows her brother fully, turns you all, gives a slight bow, then adds, I thank you all, and yet I am still in the process of mourning for our lost mother. For now, it looks like not all of you have fully rested or completed through your ordeals. Take this time to rest, and whenever you're ready, speak to me, my brother, or those around us. We will try to formulate a battle plan around this. And you start seeing that many of the other Sharptooth members, some who have healed, some that have recovered, begin moving about again. I believe Mavis, you said you had the highest passive perception. You do see that one of the members, or rather Zarmbal's mate, also begins making her way out and following Zarmbal and the rest of the, well, Zarmbal and his sister. But eventually the area becomes more or less emptied. Or as empty as it can be. Well, minus a particular drinking monkey and its brother, as they are currently still swapping their own alcohols and the like. And I leave the board to you guys now, as I'm moving all these pieces.
Wait, did I already use that, or was I going to use that spell slot? Or did I just get that spell slot? Who did I scry on at the end of the last game?
I don't remember.
Let me look.
I definitely did a wisdom save, right? Nope, I remember who it was. It was, Mavis.
Oh, yeah.
And that's when it was like, Tyrannin, step slightly to the left. Well, I have a choice. I can either scry for Oberina, which, with this many people going out to look for, is... I don't know, that just seems kind of pointless.
Yes. I'm sure the Sharptooth will find her eventually.
Or I can scry on someone who's... I have some questions for.
And who would that be?
Liliana Defoe. Because if I'm right, she's dead. And we have a problem.
Name sounds familiar, but who was that exactly?
The one who wrote Nicholas.
I will add this. Arizel, you do remember that what you went through was just simply a vision, a possible events to come, or something that happened already. As to what you saw, you can easily surmise that it was something that could happen.
Okay. It's not something that has happened, but it's a matter of it could happen.
Yes, and
Okay.
one of her things that she did say is that a possible future that had already happened, hence her use
Okay.
of instances.
Screw it, we're on a rest day.
So who are you scrying for?
Since I've seen her, I'm scrying for Liliana Defoe.
Okay. And I will say
But
right
I know
now,
she almost saw me once before, so go ahead.
I will say right now, because of her particular circumstances, I'll have you roll a D100, because while she is not on another plane of existence, she is also not on the same plane of existence as you are. Okay. You passed. You
I
had
can tell.
you literally had a 20% chance of succeeding, so you see, very blurry. You see a woman with a veil, and she is currently simply sitting on what you can only guess is a pedestal, but behind her is a massive door that there are some cracks on it, but there are various glowing stuff on it. You can roll me an Arcana for that. I'm just gonna roll this for her. Yeah, there's a lot of freakish writings there.
I don't like that number. Much better.
Alright. Is making sure there's no other things, loopholes, things to worry about. Okay. Well, you're pretty certain you recognize some of those writings in Nicholas's pages. Where are you? Here you are. I'm just gonna roll this for her. She is not aware of you spying on her at this moment. But with the scrying, you can also see that she occasionally does look at the door. And then simply...
Well, last time she noticed me right off.
Yeah, she rolled pretty bad in her on her save. Or average.
Well, if she's still alive, which...
Let me see this.
Being the kind of ways that she's meant to be makes sense.
Ah, okay. So you can also see 10 feet around of it. Okay. I want to make sure I read that scrying properly. So you do see there's a few other things around, but you do notice that the area around her, it looks like you're looking over a sea of stars, because it's darker than what you are currently experiencing. For it's bright morning, while where she is at, it is illuminated nighttime. And
Cinder just keeps watching the board and just like, come on. Really? You see me last time? This is just my luck. Bloody hell. She'll wait quite a while.
Alright, I need you to roll me a perception. Okay, this is why she rolled a 1. But you do notice that she has a book in her hands and scribbling something. Of course, with the sleight of hand that she did a botched on. You notice that she's writing runes into the pages.
Do I recognize the book?
That I need an arcana. The book looks oddly familiar to Nicholas, but smaller. Or rather, what I should say is a thinner book.
Bloody time travel bullshit. Nicholas, wake up.
Sandra, can you roll me a wisdom saving throw? Okay, you don't have a migraine or a shocking headache. You do hear a very soft voice. Not quite time bullshit. This is the second time I now finally realize someone is spying on me, and that second time is from you. As the person you're scrying on closes the book very slowly, turns to the sensor that you're using. Greetings. Who do I have the displeasure of speaking to this time?
Hello. I suspect you already know, but I'm Sinjagaris. At the last iteration.
Yes, I believe a certain old bag of bones was trying to keep things from progressing worse than it was. And from the feels of it, it seems like she's already passed on.
I figured that since you're the one who wrote Nicholas, and Nicholas exclaiming how ancient and old you are, you probably have a considerable amount of knowledge on the situation.
Yes and no. And from the feels of it, you do have Nicholas with you. He was a good companion. Pity that my abilities were too destructive for his vessel to handle. As for knowledge...
That's the door that the Yellow King's behind, right?
Not just him, but anything else that's outside the Far Realms. Don't tell me you're like that other fool that wants to open it. Well, that and many other fools.
No. I actually like this whole world. Well, not this one, but the universe.
And I'm just gonna roll this for her. Only because this is... Oh, I forgot to remove that, it's just a... not +1. I need to remove...
Dare she guidance herself.
She would, but I don't feel like doing all those things for her. Well, at least this instance of you is amicable. And
Yes, I've heard.
everyone that's 5 feet around Syndra, please make me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh shit.
And Syndra as well.
4. Nice.
Do I sense that it's the scry before I do this?
Yes, it is.
I choose to fail.
Okay. Fortunately, I'm not going to even roll for Kermit. But that's the case.
He fails.
Yeah. Unfortunately, our player is not available, but we will see him hopefully next Sunday. I was about to say Saturday, man. But, Mavis, you notice that there's a small glowing orb floating about 10 feet above you. Syndra, you notice it right away. It is the Scry spell. It looks vastly different from the one that you're used to. As it begins to look around. And now Arizel will need to make the wisdom saving throw. Or she can choose to fail. I'll give her that. The choice.
Within 5 feet?
It was, but now it's moving.
Oh, okay.
Because Syndra
Okay,
chose to
cool.
fail, so now it is moving.
Okay. That's the wisdom.
Yes, it found the anchor point.
Oh, not great.
I will say this. Syndra, you could see that this scrying orb is a bit more autonomous. And now, those that are still within 5 feet of Syndra can hear a voice, which is also part of the wisdom saving throw. Mavis, you don't hear a darn thing, but Tyrannin, and I'll just go with Binge, but Binge is quiet. Tyrannin, you also hear this, a female voice talking in your head now. Interesting. So this is your... I suppose I would call it coterie for now. Sounds a lot more sophisticated.
What is that supposed to mean?
Don't
You
worry
feel my
about
monkeys.
I'm not a monkey.
it. No, you are a... And she kind of blinks for a brief moment, and Syndra, you can kind of see that as you are scrying her as well. And I'm just going to roll this for her. My, it's difficult to determine what you are. You are, or were, a dragon, but cursed. Soul torn apart, and now something grows within you.
Wait, guys.
Do you want me to repeat?
Wizards, you no sense of humor.
Unfortunately, I've been dealing with annoyances so much that I have lost all sense of humor. Had your wizard friend here, Miss Gallows, was a follower of those of the far realms, I was going to send a very devastating spell in that direction. But I'm impressed.
Oh, we've been killing a lot of those guys lately, actually.
They're just nothing more but fodder and shock troops. Replaceable pawns and minions. You need to get rid of the heads and, well, the ones that are actually enforcing the will of it. That one has a very strong will, despite things going on and about. And Tyrannin and Syndra, you can feel the gaze, or your own gaze, being led toward Mavis's direction. The other one, I sense absolutely nothing worth talking about. As you feel like she's pretty much insulting Kermit, who's talking to Bozamar, and then you also see there's Bozamar there. And no, I don't mean the grung. I'm talking about the thing that just got polymorphed into a cockatrice.
Oh yes, no, he's an evil asshole. Let's.
We also pretend he doesn't exist.
Good. Now, since you went through the effort of scrying on me, how may I be of service?
Well, I mean, I guess we could always ask the easy questions that just seem like they'd be too easy. And knowing we'd probably have stupid answers, but we're under the impression
Questions are only stupid when a creature is willfully ignorant about the question.
Yes. So we're under the impression that Ed Matthias Dominguez is the threat.
So currently the ones who failed, which is Syndra and Tyrannin, I both need you to make me... Actually, no, you don't have to make me wisdom saving throw. You just feel it, but you do feel a poised anger that just came... Not hot rage, but a slow bubble of it. Yes, the man of multiple names that, because I can't quite find his true name, it's difficult to pinpoint his origin. Yes, he is a threat.
Is he working for that guy behind the big door?
Possibly. There's always the possibility. There's also the annoying thing about possibilities that he could be and he could not be. There's no concrete evidence, at least not from my perspective. Since you are on the field work, or rather out there in the multiverse, as one would call it, you would probably have a much better chance of discovering what he is doing.
Yeah, should we just ask about, Kateria or Arena or anyone else?
We recently had a friend go somewhere past death. Does that make any sense to you?
Well, if we believe that what she saw actually exists, has happened, or will happen, then her evil side that is part of the Golden King's bullshit tears out your heart, throws it down a hole, summoning them to come and eat Orcus. Or something.
That sounds about right, yes.
While you fought the bald bastard. What was his name? Stan? Dave? Jimmy?
Possibly?
All I know is he's annoying.
Yes. Very.
You would think that a man with that many tattoos would actually be more interesting.
Right. So putting aside your satire of humor for the moment, you mentioned that my heart was ripped out and thrown into the hole. That does sound... It sounds suspiciously like the gateway was brought to your side. As for... this individual named Ataria. What was her full name?
Descentra.
Descentra. So they're somewhat akin to stars and the like.
He did stare at the sky a lot.
Yes, well, she wouldn't be
You see
the
what
fir-
Mavis is wearing? She had that made. He was going on about a fading dragon.
Mavis, I need you to make another wisdom saving throw, as you feel like something is looking a little too hard on you.
Fuck you. Can't find her. Even God said no.
Unfortunately, I seem to not be able to locate your friend, as she is, if it is a she or he, they are resisting my sight, and I've been quite busy through these evenings, nights time, that I have not been getting much rest. However, if we're going by names in existence, your Ataria, if that is her name or existence, is not among the first, nor most likely will not be the last to serve entities that are beyond the realms. As for those who serve, you said the Golden King?
Yes. Cult of the Stars, that's what they were calling themselves.
Oh please, they always use some sort of grandiose name to hide their actual intentions. You literally hear this deadpan voice of disdain. And she just adds, right, clearly they're trying to compress the multiverse and parallels of time into one. Probably make it easier to destroy the whole thing, or we make it into whatever images they have.
Out of curiosity, because I get that feeling Joel's somewhere beyond the here, but also not. How many iterations of this whole bullshit have you gone through?
If we are to... As she you feel like she actually pauses. Looks at the, well, Syndra, since you're scrying, you do see that she pauses for a brief moment. Looks at the book that's in her hands, opens it up, filters through it, rips out a page, crushes it, sets it on fire, but it's not burnt remains. It seems like a bright light. And she sends it outward. Well, someone's certainly abusing that particular book. I'm sorry, you were asking again your question before I was rudely distracted. The instances, yes? I believe this is the 12th or 13th instance already.
And now I suddenly feel like I need to ask about a book.
Yes, particular books that contain runes of, well, the ancient lore of the world or this universe. Its forged creation got slipped out and I was one of those few miraculous ones that found it before they were simplified, complexitized, and overly used by the vast many of the universe. Yes, they're still powerful, don't get me wrong, but you know how the saying goes, you divide 100 by 100 individuals, its potency is within the ones of all that hundreds there.
Yes.
As for those instances, so far the door has not been, well, the gate had only been at risk of opening, but I believe dear old Yabala had managed to do something. I'm not quite sure, but since she is literally, well, you do know that the area that you're in is unique, yes?
Yes, we're on the bodies of a dead creator god at Primordial.
Excellent. I don't have to bore you with all the other details. So, as you may know, it also acts like a particular plug for the astral sea of this particular universe. Oh, plug is probably a bit of a wrong phrasing of it. It acts like a beating heart.
Let's see. So I guess if we're all working towards the same thing, the question is, do you have any advice?
Well, normally I'd be on the opinion of simply obliteration of the entire organization, individuals involved, and, well, anyone else directly and indirectly involved with them, but I don't have that time to go after every single cloudy-eyed worshipper of the fiends, or the, I guess you call them obelisk, no, obiects, from the far realms. So I would just simply say cut off the major heads and ensure that they do not come back in any form or mental state like Ed has been doing. At least that's the name you're giving him. To think that I actually have to find his true name becoming quite a chore. He has been more or less the main conductor of this entire problem.
I mean, it is a question. There were times when other things were more common, but you would think that there wasn't that many Golemancers across the multiverse.
If you simply peg him as a Golemancer, you'll be no doubt sorely mistaken, considering how much he's dabbled into magic. He's almost akin to what I am, one that has no longer required to become a lich, or rather, was a lich and managed to bypass that particular problem. Though the difference, I believe, between he and I is that I have bounded myself to where I am at now. And as for him, he is a free-roaming virus, is what I would call him. As you hear it in your head, Tyrion, isn't that right? young dragon who has been violated by his magic.
He does seem to be a bit like an infection.
Because that is what he is. All power has a purpose and needs to serve a role. If it does not serve a proper role, it is simply a aimless amount of power, and once it starts thrashing a tantrum, it destroys everything. Now, I suppose there are things or exceptions to that rule, but in the end they do serve a greater will purpose. If they do not, they are a problem. As for myself, I am here to serve as a watcher of one of these gates, which this one is one of the most important of them. I am its keeper and warden, to ensure that no invasive species come messing around with the heart of the very universe itself. Which, congratulations, you are very close to it as well, as you may be noticing increase of power or abilities that you may be having, or your survivability.
They seem to be changing quite a lot recently. Trying to figure out what I'll become in the end is a question I never thought I would have to ask myself.
And do keep in mind to always ask that question of yourself. It is not a insult as I say these next words, but rather a piece of advice that is necessary for your success against the mad mage, is what I will call him. Be sure to find a purpose for your power, or a reason to have that sort of power, because if you do not, then even if you defeat the mad mage, you yourself may end up becoming a problem for the universe as a whole, unless you seek a purpose.
When we all hear this, I just look at Sindra. I don't think I'm going back to my cove anymore.
Do you have a question, Liana? What was his name when he was studying alongside you in Nethril?
That variation of him was a young, wide-eyed child named Saradin. And, I need Binge to roll me a wisdom saving throw.
No!
Buddy.
I can't believe Binge is actually Ed again. Please roll bad and then just he thinks of him as
14.
Sardine.
Well, you definitely see him kind of almost saying a shout, or not really a shout, but somewhat controlled. Wait, that name sounds like the Pope? And Tyrion and Sindra, you could definitely feel like there's eyes now looking right at Binge. Pope now, do I hear? Binge kind of looks a little nervous. He was... Oh, Saradin in my world. He is the the Pope that leads the Lodician Empire, and no one's ever really seen him, but they apparently obey his will. He looks very confused. Well, nervous is more the word. Also, at this time, Oberina, you're not only found by the a group of Chartreuse riders, but they also are escorting you back, so you should be arriving right now.
Just ping where.
Oh.
About.
You'll be climbing exactly right over here. I'm not gonna put the riders there for all that stuff, but
Yeah, no, you're fine.
So you climb this ladder and you just see us all talk to this floating gold orb.
actually the orb looks more like a it's silver with a purple eye looking right at all of you. That's what you all see.
Vicinity.
And also, Oberina, you feel like there's something in the book.
Wait. What was his name again?
Sardine.
Saradin, I'll type it down for you.
My brain wants to think like he's a can of sardines. Now I can't unsee it.
Oh, okay, because I came across another shard, and I wanted to make sure it wasn't the same.
You don't know. Or at the very least, you're not 100% certain. Ah,
And
that
I'll
one.
Think.
Because I know Centro would know what that is, probably. And
Yes.
Soda Arena.
Yes. Yes, yes. You know what? You can roll me a religion or arcana. I'll give it to both of you as, oh, actually no, I'm sorry, just Syndra at the moment. The names sound similar, but as Binge is going to start talking, sounds slightly different. Or at least from what Binge is giving. And Binge goes on, yes, okay, so this is going to be a bit of a long history thing, but to give you cliff notes, the Lodician Empire was in the far north of the continent, where I'm from, and they use a lot of holy types of magic, but they became more militarized, and I believe they were guarding something called I think it was a Chaos Gate. But yeah, they are from the far north, and the north is pretty cold. I've never been up there before, and as far as I remember, Saradin, he was the one that apparently made the Lodician Empire more zealous to go conquer my home continent and the other ones, so we rebelled and fought back. But their knights are really strong. Then he immediately points to the others. The flag, the banner thing, that's one of their symbols.
Vendra just kind of slowly pulls it out, holds it up to this one.
Yeah, the one with the funny cross. That's their main symbol. Which I will do a quick
You know, I go for a jaunt in the woods. I think there's a bunch of weird shit going on.
This is Oberina. She's got a book with runes in it.
Well, multiple at the moment, and she'll hand Mavis back her book.
I'll
No,
take
just
that.
one.
I'm gonna look in the book.
There's a new entry on it.
God damn it.
And writing was stupid, did you?
Also,
No. Nothing
Oberina,
left bed.
the weird floating eye thing looks right at you, and I need a wisdom saving throw.
Probably gonna fail this.
We'll see.
Oh shit, hold on, I get my character sheet did the weird thing where it just shrinks. Ah! Let me refresh roll 20 real quick.
Okay.
Probably gonna fail anyway, because believe it or not, oh shit, why did it, okay. Give me a second. I don't know why, it randomly opened a one in the chamber when I refreshed. I guess because I was doing work on that earlier, but...
Oh, I'm sorry if I'm boring.
No, I was doing that prior, so I don't know why it even did that.
I'm just
I was
messing.
doing it before we started.
I know, I'm just messing.
Alright, wisdom. This should be a 14, I think.
Okay.
I can't.
The eye is looking clearly right at you.
I don't think I could have passed anyway.
That is an interesting one.
Should I be worried in the slightest?
As Oberyn, you do hear
this
the
is
woman's
Liliana Defoe.
voice in your head too. As both Liliana Defoe says that very same quote, and Syndra is saying the exact same thing at the exact same time, or saying her thing and Liliana saying her own. So you hear both in your head and your ears.
Let's not double speak because I don't want to have a fucking stroke. I guess it's a pleasure to meet you, or not. I don't necessarily know.
I see you, and the other one has some protections on you.
Find
Affected.
the other one.
The eye starts slowly moving toward the direction and looking at Arizel. Granted.
Fine. Oh, never mind. I think I understand what it is. No worries.
Yes.
Probably Yabala's last dying wish, so to speak.
Yes, in a way, she was also one of my oldest friends. That being said, you are an interesting mystery.
And why is that exactly?
You happen to have a small bit, even if it's a tiny little fraction of it, of the Titan of the End. Which, mind you, while I'm tempted to wipe you out of existence right now, due to the danger of that creature, as it is also a native of the Far Realm, I am curious as to how you acquired it.
Self-fulfilling paradox.
Ah. Them individuals.
Yes, I guess a part of me had ventured to understand my past, and then I'd left an imprint on my younger self. I'll say, ravenous hunger, though not entirely accurate, of being able to consume negative emotions, empathy, or apathy, rather.
I will say now, I don't quite care of how you acquired this. It's more as to why you have it. And the reason why is because the Titan of the End is an entity of the Far Realms, and it cannot pass through this gate, or any of the gates, because it's usually, well, not only is it rebounded, but also it's just far too vast to go through with the gate. Technically, it will destroy it in an instant.
Oh, what if the gate wasn't to exist in the threshold of infinity, or it existed in the realm with outside the gate?
I will put it this way for you, child of... I see. The Feywild. They tend to screw things up even with their chaotic mannerisms. That being said, the vast multiverse, each universes of their own existences are like bubbles. And the far realms, or rather the empty, the oblivion as one would call it, tries to break these bubbles. What happens when the bubble is spilled? All of its contents is out. A feeding, or at least one would call it a method of feeding that the oblivion has. The Titan of the End, or at least that particular one that's inside you, the tiniest of fragments, is sort of like the vanguard. It goes into a universe, destroys it, and if there's anything left, the other entities that are out there feed on the remains.
That's a good thing I'm not very hungry for multiple universes then.
For now. Though, if I do see you become a troublesome thing, I'm going to have to figure out how to send one of my guards after you. But you don't seem to be a troublesome thing at the moment. No, I
At the
could
very
probably
least-
use you.
At the very least, I'm pretty sure these couple, and she points at the rest of the party, will try to do it first.
Yes, but there's so much they can only do physically to you. Or spiritually. Your problem is more of a... those that the paradox have caused. Granted, it's not really their fault intentionally, but they are an inherited problem for all things.
Well, thank you, Miss Floating Eye Lady.
Liliana
I'll take
Defoe. I am both the Watcher of the Gate, Keeper of the Gate, and Warden of the Gate, but most that do come to know my name or my existence will simply know me as the Veiled Lady.
Ah, so you're the one who's constantly watching over my shoulder for Trucy. That makes more sense than one.
To a degree, though I must admit, your current condition is perplexing, so I suspect that it may be the cause of the paradox or something intentional. Something I don't quite like.
Perhaps a hole punch through time.
It could be of various things or entities. I am not going to fuss over about it too much while I still have to perform my duties to guard the gate. Now, as for the one that I can't see, as the eye, it hovers over Mavis, but Mavis, you did not hear a single thing of this conversation. You're just focused on the book, aren't you?
Yes.
Yes. So, to everyone else, you don't need to roll perception for this, but you can see that as the eye keeps trying to look over, there's like a quick array of lights, and while it reflects around everybody else, like they show a color of purple, Mavis does not reflect any light from this thing. And you all can hear very clearly, this is perplexing. And the fact that it is very similar to Ed, as you call him, because I don't have a true name, or at least a name that they truly believe is theirs.
Curious.
So to give a better reference point, it would be almost like think of it as Photoshop. There you do the blendering, and there is some color blend on everyone else, but for Mavis looks like Mavis. The color just kind of goes right around her.
He's good at hiding.
I can sense that. Still, I pick up a book from the Paradox Beings. Oh, wait. I don't suppose that's the one that I've been sending messages to, is it?
What was the last one you sent?
Someone had asked me about, finding Mother and I shall find you, or something of that manner. And the only one that comes to my mind, or at least from the other books that I have, which, when you look with your scrying eye, you do see that there is some various books in a very tidy bookshelf next to her. I sent something about finding the Blood Mother in Rashakan. At least with the information that I have provided to me.
Yeah, slow turn to Mavis.
You may look at the Book of Oni, or the dusty old book, and find your information.
It makes you feel any better. It's more satisfying a curiosity of myself on the way back. At least I know now.
There is a new entry.
This is gonna sigh and hand the book to Sindra.
Oh, yes, the Blood Mother and Rashakan in the Crimson Manor.
Yes, that's what I wrote.
Wait, why were you at the Crimson Manor?
I ended up there. I escaped from Akra. Well, she helped me escape. And I didn't quite land back here.
Oh, good to see her up and moving again. Oh my god.
Well, this has been somewhat enlightening, but I am getting a little tired holding these spells and doing various scries.
I'm sure we'll be in touch.
Yes, you may contact me through Nicholas.
That's much easier.
As she says this, the book actually speaks out if he's out, but if not, you can hear him muffling.
Oh,
Goes, yes, it is a pleasure to see you again, mistress. Do be sure not to kill anyone with teaching them high-level spells. I shall do my best, but it is their fate to use it or not. Indeed. All of you. And then you kind of feel like she is looking at one particular individual, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's throw a D8.
Yay.
You get the feeling that the eye is still trying to look at Mavis, but again, that strange purplish light, it's not bouncing or anywhere on her, it's just not there. And then it turns off, or rather it vanishes. And the last words you hear from Liliana: right, I will simply resume my role as the Watcher. And you feel the connection cut off.
Oh, what an insightful day. I was enjoying laying in the woods.
Is that where you ended up, in the woods?
Yes. After seeing my mother, I had, and even before the vision quest, I had a rather interesting memory jog of about 10 years ago that I'd completely forgotten about. I led a small adventuring party of Akra. I believe her name was Leala Gonzalios, through a fun time to hunt down a white dragon. Malios, Bitterfrost. Don't know if that rings any bells to anyone.
You mean? Hang on. I want to make sure I even say your name right.
You're the one who wrote it.
You know what? That doesn't mean I ever came up with the freaking
I think
way to
Layla.
say it either.
Lelia is probably the best way to
Lelia?
say it.
Yeah, Lelia would be fine.
Do I remember that name of dragon?
Vaguely. I mean, does anyone else want to roll a history?
Would I just know my own mother's name?
Yes, you instantly know that's your
Oh,
mom's
I
name.
don't think I need a roll history for this.
I guess.
I mean,
would
I
make
will.
sense.
You know what? I will give you a roll of history at advantage for more details. Let's go with that.
Okay, cool.
But anyone that's rolling for
Well,
Okay.
shit.
I feel like Tyranid would probably know like Zalios too, because of the name I had mentioned, depending.
Yeah, I think so.
Years ago.
okay.
Yes. Wait. Wasn't that the first? It was the first time he mentioned you.
Cool.
Zavon.
Oh yes, that was when we had apparently first met, or at least I had met him, not so much you, or you. Points at Ariza.
All
That
right.
reminds me of yes, we were in Neverwinter. Or Icewind Dale.
Yeah, Iceland.
It was a trip.
All right. Give me a second to pull out some information that everyone will be getting.
You're
Wait.
not my mother.
God. I'm trying to process that now. They were at the same time that her mother. Wow, that's weird actually. Now that I think about that.
Let's not forget, Oberina. You've been alive for quite a bit, and well, wow, there's just
Yeah.
doing so much dumb crap outside.
Wait, how old is Overina?
She is. I think it's 100 and hold on, I have it. 127. So not like super old, but older.
Well, you're still older than Syndra. Syndra's only 90, other than that 100 years taken off of her.
Mm-hmm.
Not my fault.
Yes, it is.
Just don't fucking die. It's
Oh,
fine.
wait, no, I guess it wasn't yours. It
No,
was
it's not my
ours.
fault. It's Harry's fault.
Yeah, you got out of this.
Yeah, my debt's been paid. She's gone.
Yeah. So anyway, first going with let's go with Malios first because that's what you guys rolled first. So, and it wasn't too high because there wasn't really much information on this guy, but you do remember a adult white dragon by the name of Malios the Bitter Frost, and I'll go with the perspectives of what you guys have. So for Syndra, as a pirate, you've heard that in at least the waters near the north, a particular white dragon would pillage these particular ships, disregarding whether it's a pirate, merchant, or any sort of ship. And he did excessive hunting, killing. Rarely looting, but there was rumors that he found a very potent artifact. As to what artifact it was, you do not know. Tyranid, as a dragon, you had heard rumors of a upstart white dragon that found a very powerful artifact of Tiamat. But apparently something had happened within the decade that it had the item. You're not 100% sure, but knowing the feral nature of your white dragon kin from your father's side, and this one being very stereotypical white dragon, he probably got off by a bunch of adventurers and deserved it.
Yeah.
Was there
okay.
anything mentioned about him in the cult of the dragon?
Repeat that again?
Did the cult of the dragon mention anything about him?
No.
Okay.
Now, for those who wished for Zalios information, you will have to roll another history for that. And Tyrion, you have an advantage.
Yay.
I figured.
There's a reason why.
It's gonna be... Oh, I 100% know why. It's gonna be great. Yeah, that makes way too much sense. Also makes sense.
This motherfucker is.
Okay, so, I want to ask one thing though. What was the wisdom roll for that, Syndra?
That was Syndra pulling the joke about Spawn.
Okay, so going with the history says, we'll go with Syndra's first because it's the lower one of the two. You heard of a half dragon, half black dragon sorcerer that was a high general of the cult of the dragon. You do not know much more than that, but Tyrion, the name, at first you willingly want to forget it, but then you remember a particular black half dragon wearing a blue mask and was doing his utmost best to persuade you to work for Tiamat, for the glory of all the chromatic dragons, and to put the entire world of Toriel under Tiamat's heel. And
Right.
what was
That's
your
the idiot that tried to recruit me.
Oh, well, if it makes you feel any better, or worse, considering at the time I didn't know any better, he acquired the white dragon mask to complete the mask of the Dragon Queen.
Yes, I believe he had the blue one when he was trying to recruit me. I'm sure they probably gave him some sway over whichever dragon color that he was talking about.
And
Yeah.
if I had to guess, technically, it, though completely on accident, it probably did inevitably lead to what made Ed come to power. Though, not intentionally.
I'm also going to add.
Mostly we were there. What's up?
Oh, I was going to add for Tyrion's history roll. You recall that he was extremely perplexed as to how you so easily just rebuffed his requests. And the fact that all the other kobolds were just very confused about this black half-dragon sorcerer trying to talk like a big shot to you.
Yes, the little bastard thought he was better than me and was extremely confused when I told him to fuck off.
Kind of funny, actually. When I had met him, he seemed to be more of a coward. Just throwing...
Oh, absolutely. I smelled it on him the first time he stepped foot. I'm sure he thought he had some ace up his sleeve against me, not knowing my true nature.
Also, something that I did remember. I have seen Akra in action. I have a feeling she probably was holding back some of the power, considering I've seen her glow bright blue or bright red. That makes you feel any better?
Well,
What? I'm sorry, what?
no. I mean, we have a sword now, which is...
Wait,
Davis, how's the thing coming along, by the way? What? Your new sword.
Oh, I
Wait.
think I could handle it.
we have Akra's... Wait, what the hell happened to Akra?
That's a good question. I hope that she's alive.
Could you elaborate a little bit? A
She
little bit.
jumped off a bridge.
A normal bridge?
And her sword. No, we were in. I don't know what. And she disappeared in red flash of light.
So
But
she
I
jumped up. Okay.
came back in a flash of light. A red light. So, I don't know. But I have her sword.
Alright, so she jumped off a bridge, did a magic trick, then you did a magic trick.
I went back into the portal we came.
Oh.
But I didn't end up where we were.
Alright.
That's when I ended up with the crimson banner.
Ah, then you've seen... God damn it. Then I guess you technically would have seen my mother. Oh, hopefully. Red hair, kind of elvish ears. Choker around the neck.
I guess so.
I will once
Great.
again ping who you saw back at the Crimson Manor. One moment. This is who you saw. Mavis.
Oh. Oh no. I know where this is going now.
It was very nice.
Did you have
Made
a,
sure. Huh?
did you have a name by chance?
Marion?
Oh shit. So Mavis, I'm going to level with you really quickly. So Akra, from a memory I had a maker. And her maker's name was Marlene Lassarian. Miriam's her sister. Meaning, technically speaking, we're related. Technically.
I'm gonna cut in for that 1 minute, but Akra never said she had a maker.
Well, sorry, tutor, rather. Or
Yes.
mother. Sorry.
Yes, she did refer
So, like-
to the individual as a mentor.
Okay. I don't remember if she specifically said mother or not. If my brain's kind
Mother
of
figure.
about. Okay. Technically. Through adoption, so that's fun.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I just found that out too, so this is great.
And your mom was at the Crimson Manor?
Yes. And
Well,
that's technically
She
your...
made sure no one ate me. So, she's
Would
on
make-
my good side.
Oh god, I hope she doesn't... She wants to tear my father apart if that makes it. But I'm pretty sure after what that situation I had seen her in, probably might tear me apart, just depends.
Well, maybe she won't. If I'm there. I did absolutely nothing to win her grace.
I mean, we could always just say we're sisters and then hope to God we don't die. Or at least I don't. Or both of us.
Why would your mother want to kill you?
Let's just say that my father had robbed me from the Feywild and then did it. It's a whole fucking ordeal.
Yeah, but I still don't see why this is your problem.
We'll kind of see as we get there. In all honesty, I don't know if she wants what her whole thing is other than to probably see me.
Mavis, can you roll me a history?
I mean, technically we're sisters, Syndra.
Oh.
Technically.
Sin.
It's
Yeah.
like one of those weird through adoption things.
Marion was very concerned about you. Though she was also, very heavy-handed with the pricing.
Wait, she sold her?
No.
I'm confused on that context.
I asked her to help me come back here.
Ah,
And
okay,
it
okay.
involved magic, and she wanted all the gold I have.
Ah, okay.
And I said no.
Yeah, she
So
did
I-
it anyway.
Had her call Cinder.
Yo, hello, Syndra. This is the niece of this person. What a weird family tree this has devolved into.
I had it worse before.
And you're not wrong.
I'm so glad that I could not be related to any of you.
I mean, points at RSL. Could be.
I mean, that's not entirely impossible.
Considering. What if we're all just weirdly cousins and that's why we're unaware of all the changes going through?
I choose to believe that.
I don't believe it.
That would be a
I feel like
nightmare.
the
in
curse
itself.
affecting Arizel would affect all of us if that was the case.
Yes.
Speaking of which, the other woman that was with us, Lelia, seemed to have a rather interesting brand.
Yes, well, that brand would belong to August. I'm thinking of the right brand.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It was through that brand that you, as a void tiefling, was born.
Oof.
Oof, indeed.
Because this is the DM meta knowledge thing that I'm providing for now. Because chances are it's not that you won't find it, but it's something that can give you a clue into your own nature. Is that since void tieflings are born from the curse influence of Orcus through the bloodline, Orcus, in a way, did curse your mother.
Oh. Gotta have to fix that.
Oh, well.
Sorry, dogs are barking. Apologize.
No worries.
No worries. And I will be BRB for a moment. Everyone continue.
So yeah, that was about the equivalent, or pretty much everything that happened while I was away. Nothing really important, just figured out I'm related to someone here. Figured out that I technically gave myself, my baby self, the end. So it's a self-fulfilling paradox that will always happen. It's inevitability. And that, yeah, I may have incidentally kicked off part of Tiamat's rise to power, which helped bring Ed back into power, at least in my realm. Oh, yeah, that's great.
That sounds interesting, to say the least.
It could be worse. I could have just devoured the whole universe, then just called it a day. Even though technically part of me probably did at one point. Did I miss anything on the other end?
Well, besides me and Cinder bullying Zarnwall into doing the deed.
I nearly killed myself.
No, you did kill yourself.
No, there was still blood pumping out of the hole in my neck.
I don't think there was.
You said there was.
Well, a lot came out right away, and then after about a minute, I don't know.
Oh, right. You also identified the Emerald Knight's weapon, didn't you?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I realized that it was not presented to the people to see it.
That's a bow. I want that.
Oh?
Not for me, though. Holy shit.
Well, like any of the rest of us can use it.
Hello,
Actually, I think one person.
Spider-Man.
Fuck you.
Go away, Fighter-Man.
Yeah, go away. You have your funny
I could use
sword.
any weapon.
Fuck you. If anything, this is probably a ranger weapon, or yeah, ranger weapon, but I could probably do.
Yeah, but the problem is Mavis is getting all the fucking weapons.
The ranger
Yeah, I know.
already has too many weapons.
That's what I'm like.
I think she's good with her
Maybe
mom's
Ari?
sword right now.
I mean, yeah.
Ari had
you or
like her
Ari.
knives now. Ari has all their knives though, but I guess it depends. I guess it would make sense
Yeah,
more
when you
for
have magic, you
have-
just have that much range.
True.
Well, the question is, does it count as a longbow or a short bow?
It says a
It's a great bow.
2 range. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it would make more sense though, because it runs on magic ammo. That'd be the same as my harp, so I would know how to fire it. That's the only reason. That's more wild nature than urban.
I'm somewhere between Tyrion and Ari.
I leave you.
Kieran doesn't need like 20 more bows though,
I
because
don't
he just
have
gets.
anything ranged. I have to run into every combat and get my ass handed to me.
But then you do like 20 million other damage.
You're not wrong.
I'll leave that up to you guys to decide amongst yourselves. But as time is passing, I will count it as a short rest, or well,
I'd like a long rest, please, sir.
you might get that. But anyway, Oberina and Mavis, a certain monkey comes over to you and pulls out a gourd, a purple gourd.
Should I be worried about that?
It's most likely highly alcoholic, but also does fantastic things.
Kind of grunts.
Sure. She'll take a sip.
Okay.
I'm okay. No, thank you.
You look sad, but goes over to you, Oberina, and I will need. Yep. Okay. That makes sense. You had a tiring event and all.
I'm psychologically strained.
What a mood.
Which,
I did pop my arcane recovery.
okay.
Tyrion has had this stuff before, and he's like, I don't want to murder everyone here, so.
So there. This is the effect that you're getting, but you're very drunk right now.
Oh, I didn't roll the con save. That was Syndra.
Oh. Con save, please.
Yeah, I didn't get to roll.
Yeah. I
I don't know what
I
I rolled.
I just rolled the Constitution there. I'm like, oh.
No, that was me. Syndra would drink. She likes
Okay.
monkey.
Okay, so
That's
yeah,
good,
so
monkey.
Syndra, you failed, but yet it's fucking good, because the DC is 17. Oberina,
Damn.
you're a bit woozy, but again, it is the drink of victory, so you'll have advantage on your saving throws.
For a minute. Yay. Or is it just... Yeah, it's just a minute. Well, that's entirely worthless.
For now. But he seems pleased that you all partaked in his drink. He begins to make his way back to his brother, Talk, and they're basically still arguing. At least arguing in the way that two apes would argue with each other.
If I remember right, we don't have time to make it to Rakasham.
At least no simple way.
My sister used to teleport into my cave all the time. Can none of you do that yet?
No.
No. And sadly, I don't have the teleportation spell, so I can't just hop in the manor.
No, I'm not my
I think we were supposed. Wait, no. We decided that would be dumb.
Decided
What
it
did
would
we?
be
Going north. Him
Kermit
points it.
stinks
Yeah.
quite a bit, but as Indra is pointing out, you remember, well, everyone but Mavis and Oberina, that Zarble mentioned that there is a ruins a little bit more toward the north that was once a giant's home,
Huh.
but he himself never really got involved with it because not his problem and not his territory.
You know, I feel like moving away from this group is a bad idea. I feel like we need to get. She kind of motions towards everybody. Everyone and the bone breakers. Get them organized and ready and moved. There was something about moving them to Binge's world, and I wasn't sure when that was supposed to happen.
That happens after the fight.
Oh, right.
Binge kind of looks a little perplexed and adds, "Yeah, the old lady asked a lot of really complicated questions, and then I blacked out for a brief moment, or at least I felt very sleepy. And then, I was dealing with that armored woman with her two men trying to force their way in.
Got their mother? Yeah.
I'm just gonna roll this for Binge. You see him blink a couple of times, and then he just finally or rather kind of hits his forehead, like realizing what's going on. Oh, I'm sorry for your loss. He is referring to.
There's a lot of people I could refer to, honestly.
Yep.
At this point.
He is just simply looking at his best. He's looking at Oberina, but he is not sure if that was the right person.
Thank you, I guess. Pretty sure that was meant to focus on someone else.
Right. He sits back down. So.
Who died?
Tyrion just looks at Ari probably. Who died?
Say that again, I'm sorry, I didn't even hear that.
Who died? Why is it sorry for someone's loss?
I just shrugged. I don't know, maybe she was potentially thinking of Jabala, but I could be so wrong. I don't know why he's apologizing.
Indra, you're a captain, or at least a general navigator. Do you have an idea about how long it would even take us to go to Rakashama after trial by combat?
I believe we said it would take 5 days to get there.
Yep.
And then with whatever we're doing in 5 days back, it would be more time than we have.
In fact, with our...
I believe we figured that with the maps, yes.
Basically, anywhere we want to go is going to be a considerable amount of time. And it was stated that we should probably be in the south towards Zola's family. Princess we saved.
Well, at the very least, if we get to Rakashama...
And the Storm Singer's down there. We need to get more missiles.
That may be an after thing, but if we are able to make a connection with my mother and Markushana, then it could at least give us an avenue to travel around a little bit more quickly with teleporting and the like. So it may only be a 5-day journey and an easier way back. How long do we have until the fight, Jordan?
The other problem is there was going to be considerably more because we're dealing with red box down there as well as Cult of the Stars. We're basically going to be walking down its territory.
Oh, you guys have plenty of options.
How long until the fight then? Just above table?
So it
2
would be.
weeks.
It's
No,
actually
we're
less
at
now.
less. It's 10 days now. I
Exactly.
believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
So technically, if we did go to Rakashana, we have to find a way to get back almost immediately.
Yeah,
once
so
we're
it'd
there.
literally be that day solution.
Well, no, it's 5 days there. Then we have like 5 days. We have like 4 days to fuck around and try to get.
Well, yeah, if we could figure out how to tell, like, if we could just get us all back here
Mhm.
in an instant, but currently we have nobody that can do that, so that's kind of off the table.
Yeah, that's why, like, when she was talking about Miriam and the gold thing, that's why she was saying if they can talk to her mom, maybe open up an avenue that way, just above table.
The other option is to go hunt primals and feed them to Tyrann until he gets too fat.
I don't like that just because
I don't hate that.
I don't hate it, but the only problem is we don't know what we're walking into, and it might take too long by the time we get there too. And we don't have a way, but we don't have as safe of a way back as
Well,
opposed
we know Jaday's in the area.
That's true.
He was here yesterday. He might be fast, but I don't think he's that fast.
Today's dead.
Yeah, Jaday's dead.
I'm talking about
New
Pickle.
Jaday. Bigger,
Brain
faster, stronger.
Pickles.
Yeah.
Bidet.
Bidet. He cleaned your ass all the way through. But I guess
If you all think we could take him, we would have to. I mean, the biggest problem in that last encounter we had with him is that he had one of the best food sources for him immediately available. So we have to figure out a way to starve him while we fight him.
do we know any primals that would be willing to help us? Not so much the ones that we already have, but something else.
I believe the only other primal that we had met, none of us had actually met them, is gone.
Alright, the one Adaria talked to back.
Yeah, it's not alive anymore.
Yeah, somebody killed it.
We don't know who, as we're standing in the middle of the Shark Teeth camp.
Was someone rolling perception?
I got it.
Shit.
That's a 19.
You hear a very notable sneeze. You both hear a very notable sneeze coming
Is it a
from.
big monkey man sneeze?
Yes.
God damn it! I can't believe fucking Goken is the new fucking primal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you heard it coming from behind there, and you see Gura getting ready to hop down, as it seems like he was talking with some of the other members of his particular tribe. And he literally just very casual, just hops down.
Alright.
That being said, we know that she was not killed by anyone we know. Probably another primal.
Now here's my question: are you
Go
guys
on.
going to?
We're lying! Well, no fucking shit. But who...
So I'll flavor it this way. The way they're saying it is very stiff, but also the fact that when you heard the very loud sneeze, they both Syndra and Tyrann had a quick, almost simultaneous turn in that direction, but then they resumed talking to you.
You know, in some ways I hate you people.
Okay. Arena, what... Cinder kind of looks around in her drunken... In Elvish, she yells out, "Does anyone else around here understand Elvish?"
I think Maven does, actually.
Well, it was more towards, it was more towards,
Wow!
Tooth and
You,
the
As you shout,
And
Mock and Talk look at you very confused, and they both very simultaneously turn their heads and they, oh, and then they resume
Oh, no.
arguing.
Okay, good.
Why did it sound like you spoke in cursive?
And,
Because she did.
let me see, Mavis, you already had the passive, but everyone else can roll me a perception.
No.
Oh, I have a 19 passive.
Okay,
yeah,
19.
I have a
Okay.
19 passive.
All right.
Yeah,
So
my passive is
Yeah,
also
but
stupid.
Bucket Bears is like, what, 23?
Okay.
It's 21, I think. Oh wait,
Yeah.
it's 23. Jeez.
yeah,
I don't know what it is.
No, it's 23.
Okay.
yeah.
Damn.
That's why I remember. It was like, man, Mavis has like this really high passive. All right. So.
Yeah, she and Oberina have like disgustingly high.
Yeah, so the passives instantly pass. The rolls, the only one that failed, unfortunately, is Arizel, but it doesn't really matter because you were watching the two monkeys really close by and they clearly showed absolute confusion. Looked at Syndra, shrug, and just continue arguing. What you can kind of surmise they're trying to say which is better, tea or alcohol. And going up from lowest to highest. With Tyrannin, you look at the sharp tooth. They kind of looked at Syndra in a very awkward manner, but they just resumed doing their own things. Syndra, you're watching both the sharp tooth and the bone breakers. They all looked at you, and they looked at you very funny. And since those who have primordial, some of them are just saying very simply like, oh, must be outsider talk, weird outsider. Like, you just hear various comments from all these other from both tribe members. Outsiders speak funny tongue. Don't get that tongue. What is that tongue? It must be outsider tongue. But why do they talk so weird? They just talk, they're outsiders. Like, you just hear a lot of the best way you can say is like pity.
Yeah.
Jesus.
well, in her drunken, stable state, she looks at Overina, and in Elvish, which you can tell, even Overina can tell she hates speaking in Elvish. Like, it's someone who like knows the language but despises saying it. And she looks at
If you
it.
try to talk in code, Tyrion just mentally links with you. Did you forget I could do this?
Yes, I'm fucking drunk.
She doesn't
Oh
even...
wait, let me change my thoughts back to not trash.
Oh, there it is. Hello. Yes.
Yes, I forgot I was drunk, Sit and see. But she looks at me, or she looks at Oberina. In Elvish is, yes, so Gokin ate a primal, and it's really upsetting all the sharp tooths because they thought very highly of that one, and they're terrified of the idea of somebody doing that. So we're keeping it quiet because tenuous relationship apparently. So yeah.
God, I love this fucking place.
Oh, you haven't seen Zonball yet, have you?
I saw a weird hulking man that looked like him on the way I'm walking over, so I'm going to take it as a...
Like a black half dragon with death.
Yeah, that literally just like exuding murder.
Is there
You know-
anywhere in this place that doesn't exude fucking murder?
You know,
I've
my
talked
great
about
my great grandfather is literally a Dracolich and the most powerful being on Faerun, probably. And you would expect that out of him, but you don't.
Yeah, speaking of hulking dragon-born creature that he's just been turned into, Zarnball's over there actually. He's still in deep conversation with both his mate and his sister.
Fine.
should we go annoy him to see if they have anything that we can do.
If he can somehow punch us halfway across the continent in less than 5 days, I'd be down for it.
Or at least
I
I mean,
mean-
fighting shape by tomorrow, and knowing what he has going on inside, that might be actually capable. He might be capable of that.
That's a weird drunken question. Do we want to just go spy on the enemies?
Not necessarily. I
I
like what.
would be alright with that, actually.
That is a
I mean, I
valid-
don't think they're actually going to attack us, but if we were to attack us, they might. I don't know.
Well, how good are you at sneaking around? Like on the scale?
Not too good.
No, I
That's
don't
good,
know.
but I'm definitely more capable.
Outside of certain things, I'm probably okay.
Not much better, so that's a bit of my worry.
I'm better than Binge.
Oh, I don't plan on taking Pinch with us, because if we're going to do that, he'll make
Oh, we're
way.
doing it stealth mission. Finch is going to stay here.
That was about 1,000 times better than that. The fuck was his name? Raspberry?
Blueberry?
No, he was this guy that
You mean
joined us for a while.
my the one that I pledged allegiance to but disappeared, or Rasputin.
Was Rasputin? I thought it was Sir Raspberry of Raspberry Land of Cormia. Also, I thought you pledged yourself to him. Points at Tiernan.
I mean,
No, it's kind of a strange outcome.
hierarchy.
Rasputin had pledged himself to me, and he pledged himself to Rasputin, so he's technically still my underling.
That is
Swear to
correct.
God. This is, you know, when me and Mavis being related is somehow less confusing than that. Goddamn.
See, I appreciate this about myself. I killed most of my living family.
Oh, I'm so glad that I get I will say a reunion, even though I don't even know how to fucking word it anymore.
Seriously, though, if somebody pops up and they're like, dead. Yeah, if they're my mother or that piece of shit, I'm going to kill them again.
I have a
Wait,
question.
wait.
Are you saying this in Common or Elvish or something, Syndra?
Oh, this is common again.
Bange looks very horrified as you say all this, and you kind of see like he wants to say something, but he doesn't want to.
Go ahead, Binge. You look upset.
My condolences to your family being shit.
My paternal trash heap was a captain of a ship that took my mother captive, locked her into the fore storage to a wall, somehow had me come out with all the abuse and all that, locked us locked in a little cell for the first 14 years of my life, and I gutted and turned his face into a hamburger with a broken bottle and his own knife, after he tried to strangle me.
You'll have a very adventurous life at this point.
A wonderful 90 years of hell.
It just could fucking start crying.
You guessed it right.
What up, bitch? Not just kidding.
Are you... What the... Are you...
He's very empathetic.
I shed tears for your torment, but you have grown much stronger now. I understand a little bit.
I mean, really, out of all of my family members that are still alive that give a shit, my aunt was not too bad. But she basically said, here's access to your great-grandfather's stuff, get the fuck out by sunset, or she would have me killed. And, well, technically my stepniece and nephew, but that's because they're political hostages, I guess is the correct term.
I
You.
do not quite understand those complicated politics, but
Do you have, like, nobles where they take someone from another noble family and they keep them at their castle or something, and it's so that the other noble family doesn't do something stupid like betray them?
I try not to get too involved with nobles. There was...
But either way, that's what my cousins are with the Countess above... Well, yeah, Barney. The Duchess above me. She keeps them, and, you know, it's under this tenuous thing of she thinks I care, but the reality is I just want to be a pirate, so she's happy with that, but, you know, we keep up appearances.
I see. It's... Still, if possible, I will try to make best hell stew or other dish from my homeland. My homeworld, actually. I keep forgetting that this is not a new land, but a different world.
That sounds delightful. But hey, so long as it doesn't sound like 7 burning elves in a basement of a house.
But the hell
well,
stew
it's
was
gonna
actually
be-
very good, though.
Oh no, I was just talking about when I killed the rest of my family by setting the house on fire around them and burning everything after desecrating the ashes, so that nobody could ever raise them to ask the questions again of who killed them. Terrible, terrible tragedy.
You know, I liked it better when you were sober.
This is a really good shit.
So he went from crying for you now to actually like...
Oh shit, she's a little...
And you should see Kermit in the midst of talking with Bozamar, which the strange cockatrice seems to have a intellectual conversation with the Grung.
Oh dear God. I feel bad for Bozamar.
Or attempting to do so.
Oh,
You know,
no, I don't, sadly. Not
I was going
anymore.
to say, you know, they were going to go to Binge's world, but I guess if everything fails, I technically have an entire barony that anybody could become citizens in.
Considering that part of me is a literal universe destroyer, I don't think I'm probably going to be welcome anywhere here.
Oh no, we were going to kill you eventually, I think.
Unless we get
That's
it
good.
out.
That's great to know.
Well, look, I'm going into all the options, and I think that's probably the other one. That was Adaria's problem. Was that I think she tried to kill herself to get rid of the problem, but I think it just made it worse.
From what I've understood, killing me is not going to fix any issues, if anything. Just, like you said, exacerbate them.
That being said,
We could. Sorry.
we really should figure out what we're doing.
Yes, I just had a thought. After the fight, Binge, we could try to find the Earth Seal. Don't know where that is.
The what?
The Earth Seal. That's all Binge knew.
Oh,
And he was
Giant
supposed
stone-
to find it and do something.
Giant stone tablet in the middle of the woods. Little bit weird.
that's exactly what the old lady said.
Yeah, I found it.
When?
Huh?
I told you I woke up sleeping on the slab when I came here. I didn't know it
Slept
something.
on it?
Yes, it was very uncomfy actually.
Well, you showed up recently. I think we have most of the day. We should go find it. You know how to get back there, right?
I hope.
Well, at least you can point us in a direction. And
Well, considering it was northwest, it should be southeast. I love. God damn it! Just casually wakes up on Bench's quest item. Just chilling here.
That's all making you do those
Find
rolls.
something to do.
I made you do those rolls.
I'm actually glad I did. All right, well, let's go find this fucking earth seal, and then I can take a fucking nap. I'm tired of shit.
Ooh.
Do you think we should take Hogan's kids with us for no reason whatsoever?
No, I don't want to take. She'll say in Elvish, primal children with us.
An Elvish pack? No, just the father.
I don't know how champions work, but assuming that they may inherit some weird bullshit. Just because, but who the fuck knows anymore?
As
She
you-
points at Ari. Like that, I think.
No, I'm well aware
Or
of
just
how.
does finger guns.
I don't think you, unless you can understand Elvish, you just get pointed at and then just finger gun back.
But Tyrion, as you approach, because you're the first one approaching the group, you definitely hear a bit of a heated conversation. But roll me a perception. Did you get close?
Most of my characters, pretty good perception. Tiernan, just doesn't understand which direction the wall is. 4.
Okay, so you're only gonna get.
It rolled onto the 19s and nah.
It was like, yeah, nah, okay. So you only get 3 words, which is let me just look at the sentences. All right, so you hear the words Amarex, moving, and behind. It's coming from the mix of the 3 of them, so you're not sure who said what. But it is a heated discussion, debate between the 3 of them. And they don't even notice you're there yet. Well, of course, Zarmal does notice you, as you're probably the only one after him that's actually capable of fighting really well.
Yeah.
And
Sorry
Oberina,
to interrupt.
you arrived at a precarious discussion time, but what is it? Have you decided on a course of action?
Yes, for that first season. No, it's not coming. Okay, no, this is painful. We have found a important thing that your late mother told Binge he needed to find. And apparently, Oberina just woke up there, so we're going to go see if it is the correct place, the Earthen Seal.
And I'm gonna roll this for him, because now that he has dear old mom's knowledge, he has advantage.
Hooray!
Oh, that was on GM layer, so I'll re-roll it again. But I will say he rolled 2 22s. But I'll roll it just one more time. Okay, I'm gonna go with the 2 22s. Just take my word for it.
We will.
I don't know. He may be lying for the sake of plot.
All right, we'll go with the 18 then.
No, it's a joke.
But
I want to actually get where we're going.
yeah. So he pauses, and it looks like he's having a bit of a migraine at first, but it's more of him just scratching the side of his head. Right, she mentioned something of an earth seal to have him unlock his potential, of something of that manner.
Yes, well, if it's as nearby as Oberina just showed up here today, so maybe how long of a walk do you think? A couple of hours?
Most likely, unless you go with your mounts, it should only be an hour or so.
Yeah, so most likely still take the mouse, so we'll head over there and most likely deal with any problems that we come up with there, and Return by nightfall.
He kind of pauses, looks at all of you. It seems some of you are in need of an actual rest.
We could wait until tomorrow. It did sound like you were having logistics questions.
It was mostly of moving the tribe into the Emerald Star, you call it, the Outsiders' outpost. But also the further situation of leaving this world.
Mm-hmm.
That and possibly that Amarex is most likely compromised in more ways than one.
Oh, right. Sorry.
I was gonna roll this for him. It's not an advantage, it's just him sizing you all up with a thought of, yep, he trusts you guys enough. The other part of the discussion is to include the Venom Hand in the excavation or the exodus out of this world, along with not just the Bone Breakers but any other tribes that have come with us.
Figure if they're amicable, it seems like a viable idea. That is, of course, still assuming we're going to win.
I'm trying to look at the positive of this and also the possible negative if we can simply delay it, but I don't know. There's still much I need to sort out with her thoughts.
Let me put it in this perspective, the only thing we could actually do is step it up. That would throw them off if they are planning something and have a deadline.
Indeed. It seems like the eclipse that is to happen in 5 months from now is the most vital part of their plan. I don't know much about magic, but it seems like it is at its maximum potency upon the few minutes.
Now, that being said, getting a long rest and then going to take care of binges thing is probably the best case for all of us.
Then rest.
But migrating to the Emerald Star is probably not going to be too complicated, except for the whole informing them that it's going to happen and setting down leadership to ensure consistency and
Then I ask
mutual
of you,
benefit.
Then I ask of you, from your experience, but is the leader of the Emerald Star worthy, useful?
Honestly, he's a bit of a bitch, but
He
does
have quite the combat prowess.
he does seem to care. And the benefit of it is they're under attack, you're under attack. And
Most of their
she
entire
kind of
force
turns and
still
looks at different
survives.
people. She kind of turns and starts like pointing out different different sharp tooth, different bone breakers. Like she focuses on the two brothers. Individuals like them create a good benefit. They create a trade between the outsiders and yourselves, thus facilitating a better joint venture, a reason to not only work together against enemies, but to create a relationship. Those ones over there are quite capable, I've noticed, at acquiring raw meat resources and food. They're very agile, very quick. There's excellent chefs capable of producing considerably more food from what little can be done by expert cooking and trade. There are blacksmiths and stuff that could help us arm ourselves. I'm not saying your weaponry is not more than capable, but the steel and orichalcum weapons are considerably stronger.
The metal that is born of this land, you mean? They're able
Indeed.
to manufacture it.
No, but when we do win, that doesn't mean the enemy forces are going to stop. That puts us against the raiders of Yangul. So having metal and orichalcum weapons, those of the Sharptooth, with the bolstered forces of the Sharptooth, once any qualms about it are laid to rest. You could show yourself as quite a force. And I don't say that we should go against Nzado. The leader of Nzado, the part to the north of Outsiders, we must be careful not to view it as a rebellion.
Yes.
Simply a unification.
You see again Zarnbol scratching the side of his head. He's not doing it in a disrespectful manner, but from you guys looking at it, you can see that it's a bit of a... like those who suffer from migraine, as he kind of scratches the side of his head and gives it a quick shake. Yes, something about the inferno of the Star Mountains. Though I don't know what that is to have any significance, since I never heard of Star Mountains or an inferno.
Do you know, looking at yourself, you exhibit signs of a black dragon. Do you know what a red dragon is?
Since he's actually never met one before, it'll be at disadvantage. From the pieces of memory that I am picking up from my mother's information, vaguely.
Then allow me to put it into perspective this way. The Inferno is well over 5,000 or 6,000 years old. One of the largest red dragons, and by that he is also capable of the arcane. He is greedy, selfish, and above all, very easy to piss off. And his children, while more civilized by their ruby blood,
Roll me a
they always
history.
look for a challenge.
Roll me history, Syndra. At advantage, because you did meet all the children. So you can roll one more time. You get the feeling that the ones that were civilized were the daughters and the youngest son. The oldest son has a bit more red in him than the ruby.
Oh, she knows, but she's also just playing it off.
Okay.
She knows I am Bernhard's history. The sons are vying for, their favor of their father, when the reality is she knows that unless one of them kills him, that he doesn't give a shit,
Also, they're looking for their own territory.
Yes, which is why she's just... Her basis here is to make it look like a unified front for Nzado versus against Nzado, is what she's trying to convey.
Okay. Alright. I'll go with that.
Even though at the end of the day, she's like, no, I want you all to be completely independent and have nothing to worry about on that. But it's like, the way she's trying to explain it to him is, I don't want you to piss him off or his kids, because if they view you as a threat, they'll come down here and wreck shit.
Also, the fact that they're underprepared. They're underprepared for that.
Yeah, and that's why she's like trying to propose it more as, if you appear to be, for them, even if you're not entirely for them, then at least it doesn't put you in their crosshairs.
Good. Okay, I'll go with that. You see Zarmball thinking about it, and it's not like he's posturing or anything. You really do see the deep thought of it. Right. So that means that this Inferno and his kin, are they all as old as he is or close to it?
No, I don't get that sense. I would imagine his eldest son might be close to a few hundred, but there's still a lot of dumb in him. There's a lack of ambition, but, well, there's ambition, but not the ambition of the red. But that being said, I found him himself, short of taking on the fake primordial that we saw and witnessed the other day. That one might be able to take him. Jade, he would have crushed without a question.
Which puts me at a wonder, why is it that the Sleeping Mountain has not dealt with them yet? Since going through my mother's memories, the Sleeping Mountain booked no titans or great and ancient worms of any manner of ilk. At least not for long, as this Inferno has been here. As he kind of twitches his head a little bit to the side, almost as he's trying to shake a memory out of him. As far as I can visualize the memories, the Sleeping Mountain is unaffected by the elements, as far as I can view the memories.
Would be someone meant to keep the balance, so to speak, and if taking out Inferno, think how many northern settlements of outsiders would fall to ruin to primals. If anything, it's more of a protective barrier, despite how powerful he may come off as.
It's also a question of if the Sleeping Mountain is resistant to certain magics that Iron Banner would be master of. Easy to hide himself like a lich or something else. He also hasn't acted as himself. He's acted as a human.
Unfortunately, the knowledge I've attained is still foreign to me. It is as if, as he kind of squints his eyes to really punctuate what he's trying to express to everyone, as if I innately know this knowledge, but a part of me does not believe this information yet. It is as if it's looking at something, but yet not believing it is still there due to logic. And he kind of looks around, like watching one of the apex predators here simply choosing not to eat a free, easy meal if that is a proper example to give.
I believe that's understandable.
Since one of the many visions I see through my mother's memories, the Sleeping Mountain, again, it is a strange being, either that of a full he kind of squints again because now I have to make him roll his saving throw. He does not have a high wisdom, sadly.
Only it was like his mom.
No, he's pure fighter, so indomitable.
Yeah.
There
Yay! If you don't succeed, try again. Every fighter ever.
No, it's just those with actually the proper use of indomitable and not using a lucky feat. Anyway,
Dear God.
he squints again. It is hard to get a proper visual of the Sleeping Mountain, but I can assure you the entire mountain range is the Sleeping Mountain. And when it gets up, much of the land is terraformed by it simply standing up. And from one of the visual memories I have, it grabbed such creatures of a Tarask and ate it.
You know, I was drunk and now I'm deeply sober for some reason, but also not surprised.
And that is why, even though I have this bond to the Sleeping Mountain, it is as if I am floating in water, submerged, but no voice connection. At least not from the memories I pick up from. But that is a matter for another day to he kind of, as he's about to say it, he bit his tongue a bit. It'll be another matter to deal with. As he rubs his front snout. There's a little bit of blood as he kind of bit into it.
You should rest and gather yourself. As should we.
Right. As for this place,
I was gonna say, by the way, as you guys are kind of noticing Zardal's height, the people who weren't around a couple sessions ago, Tyrion's taller.
by a couple of inches. 3 inches, actually.
He's also greener. He looks
And
very
greener.
sickly.
Yeah, oh, that's right. Oberina and Mavis will now notice that Tyrion, his lower mouth is green. And his eyes have these weird green slash marks or like highlights.
Is it the same green that's like in my necklace?
No.
Okay, thank God. Worried for a second there.
It's more of a bluish green, like sea moss.
Okay. You know, at this point, I'm just going to assume some shit happened. Just going to probably get some sleep that's not on a giant-ass stone slab in the middle of the woods.
Did we tell you that Tyrion tried to eat green dragons and I learned the symbol of the soul, or the sigil of the soul?
Like I said, I'm going to sleep. I want to refresh my brain. I just learned I'm related to someone here. I also realized that I met like half your parents. Feel like it's the weirdest fucking fever dream that I can deal with.
If you met mine, I hope you stabbed them.
No, hers points at ours though, and hers. Well, technically, I guess my aunt. I don't even fucking know, but not through blood.
So you're cousins?
Kind of. Lots of, like, third cousins at this point. Lots of adoption stuff.
Yeah, you're both Elvish, so who cares?
Zarmal
Oh my god.
kind of looks very confused. It's like, you say words that normally I wouldn't understand, and yet I do. To an odd degree. Is this
Assuming
what-
that's... Sorry, go ahead.
He kind of shakes his head again, holding like he has a migraine. This is probably something that my mother had learned. But if you need
We should
respite,
really...
he points in the direction. You may rest there, and the other. I do apologize, they're not large to accommodate multiple people, but I believe you can find some respite through there.
When worse comes to worse, I'll just sleep on the ceiling.
And there should be some spare rooms in the upper parts as well. Though you'll have to make your way around the bridge. And the lost tree. As he kind of looks at where the tree has collapsed, and you see that there's a big giant disintegrated hole through that side. But as I have said, take care to rest and prepare yourselves for the situation with the fight in 10 days. As for the situation of us joining the Outsiders Emerald Star, we'll have the final movement, or say after the results of the battle. For now, there's a lot to prepare, and as he gestures over to the location where the Dust Riders are, we must also be able to acclimate them to our tribe. At least those that are following us, along with the Bone Breakers.
Yeah, I told you, Tiernan, he was a great chieftain.
I'm just going to fucking sleep.
I feel like there was something that was left unsaid, and now I am actually confused.
I am as well.
I don't want to deal with this bullshit.
Just leaving everybody going, what the fuck?
No, I don't. Oberina's just like, I'm not today.
Good walk over to bench. Go to bed.
Yes, sir. Shall I do a patrol then?
Just go to bed. They have plenty of patrols here. And you standing on these rickety wooden platforms makes me nervous.
Tyrion, you don't have to roll for this. You actually do hear a as Binge finally picks a foot up, and you notice that he was slowly sinking into the board.
What is that even? Ah!
As they're kind of walking,
Get you some mint
That
for a
would
list.
squeak.
oh my god. Oberyn will say, glad to have you back, Mavis. Hopefully you get to find my aunt, your mother. God, that's still weird to fucking process. Also, hopefully my mother wasn't too much of a bother.
No, she was sweet.
Oh, you... that's good to hear.
Everyone made me nervous.
That's probably the vampire part of her.
Yes.
Well, at least you didn't see her getting stabbed by rose thorns. That was fun. She's just gonna walk away after that.
Oh,
Mavis, can you roll me a history? No worries. We make do with what we got. So, with that 5, you just remember that, yes, as you said, she was a very nice lady. 2, all those other guys were looking like a free snack. As everyone retires.
Wait.
I'm sorry, someone was speaking and I...
No, I just burned.
Okay, so there is the multiple areas to rest, as Zarwell pointed them out. The free areas to rest in on the south and north, but everything's in the eastern side of the village. Tarina, what are you doing?
Tierna's just kind of staying out at night. He still feels fine, and he's gonna start looking for that weird patch of stars that Adoria would always point out, the fading dragon.
Okay.
See if he can find it.
So we're gonna fast forward a little bit of the because it was actually it was around noontime when Oberina showed up and you guys were doing your conversation. It was already lunch. You had your dinner. You're all resting, and even though people would give that whole penalize of long rests, not this time on my end because you guys definitely earned the rest. But Tyrion, you look out into the stars. Roll me a D100.
$32.
32. Okay. Give me a second. I need to find something.
He's also using this time to meditate and continue to work on his telepathic powers, as he has been for a while.
Oh, okay. 1 second. And then I gotta do something then else for that. Nope, that's not it. Okay, so you're looking out into the stars. And you rolled 32. Alright, I'm gonna ask one particular question as what you are looking for you're looking for, if I'm not mistaken, the fading star dragon.
Yep.
How long do you look at the stars before moving on to the next location as you look around?
Probably a couple of minutes. I mean, he's spending a good majority of the night just out here meditating. Being like, I think it was over there, but also could be there.
Okay, give me a second. There is something that you did notice with the 32. And I want you to roll me a history at advantage. Okay. Very briefly, you did recall the old, late Yabala talking about the Great Maw, and it fits a little bit with some of the things things that end, things that start up. You also, actually no, you didn't read the book of the world, did you?
I got one page.
Ah, right, the Great Wheel and things that
Yep.
Alright, so let me just change the tune a little bit. that's a little too dramatic. I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw as you look into the
Oh.
scars.
Indeed.
Okay. You resisted the noticeable horror effect as very small, and you would have missed it if not for what you have mentioned in the 32D100 that you have rolled for me. But you do spot what looks to be like the constellation of the fading dragon. But far off, you notice something swimming in the vast stars up in the skies. And wherever it's going, the trail it leaves behind is a notably small trail. But it's only noticeable because you yourself are a hunter and one that chases after creatures or hunted as a dragon form you'd had noticed to track things. And you follow the trail till you find something that is the source of that wiggling trail. And with your high wisdom save 2, you hear a voice, or rather a thought that comes into your head. Not one that is your own, but something else. And the words simply pop in of, slowly, even the stars die and become anew.
Yes.
And we're going to end it at that point, this session tonight. Thank you, everyone. I am your DM for this evening, Miser Mark. And, well, everyone's gone through quite a big crux of it all. You can find my content on both YouTube and Twitch on Miser Mark. And I do apologize, I do live in New York City where lots of people like to run their cars at maximum loudness, but otherwise, you can, for tomorrow's DM, sorry, it's been one of those long days, I'll hand it over to Jeebus for Drake's Salvation.
Hello, the party in Drake's is currently assaulting the distillery, trying to take over and maybe get the dwarves on their side a little bit of reprieve from the poor functions of being sober as a dwarf. I hope you all come by and check us out. We'll should have a great time. I'll throw it over to the next DM behind me, Mariner.
Hello, I'm Transspace Mariner on Twitch and DM Mariner on Twitter, and yeah, back from vacation, back getting into the swing of everything again, and we should have a session this Tuesday where the party gets to talk to some people. A message finally gets sent after a month of waiting. We'll kind of see how the aftermath of that goes, and then make our way somewhere deeper into the fun of it all. Maybe shit'll go down, maybe it won't, maybe everyone will die next session. Who knows? It's the fun of D&D with all that. But yeah, and I guess we'll see and throw it over to Moogle.
Hello. So yeah, not tomorrow, but the following Monday will be Sea of Sorrows again. Yeah, I don't really have that much anymore. I mean, mission work, I play characters, I DM. I don't do social media because it's a cancer for my soul. Yeah, I think I'm going to throw it over to Az.
Hello, I'm Az. Play as ISL here on our Sunday game and Mala on our Tuesday game. So I have my Twitter information down below. I just mostly post things related to D&D and art. So, yeah, that's me.
And I think that wraps up for everyone. We were short one player. He was moving to a new location, so wish him luck on that. And he will most likely be arriving tomorrow. Next Sunday session. Wow, it has been a long night for me. That being said, everyone have a good evening. Thank you all, and good night.
Yeah.
Yeah.